It's time now for the award-winning #1 local talk show in Northeast Pennsylvania, The Sam Lesante Show. Now here's your host, Sam Lesante.
So, folks, if you recall, I had Chief of Police of Hazleton on, Jerry Speziale, and he gave his report card as to what was going on with crime in Hazleton. And as you know, it's down 26% in the Hazleton. So when Chief Speziale was put on by Mayor Cassatt, he brought a lot of talent, he brought a lot of information, and was able to enforce that, even though he had some political problems, which he shouldn't have had, but he had. So we have report cards. Well, now what about our county of Luzerne County? What's happening in the county? 5 years we've been under home rule. And if we recall at the time, yours truly was not for the move. I was for the county commissioners, and of course my buddy Morelli was for home rule. And I hope to be proven wrong. We have, I am being proven wrong, which is not too nice on my part, but the point is Dave Pedri, who is the county manager, is here today to give us a review as to how things are going. So Dave, was I wrong?
Listen, home rule's working.
Yeah.
Home rule's working in Luzerne County. We have a lot of great initiatives, a lot of great steps we've been making, and no offense to you, Sam, but I'm happy that you missed this one.
Yeah, well, let me tell you, the only reason that I was against it, okay, against it. I mean, sure. I don't mean like I'm upset that it's there, but because I didn't want it to turn into a school board situation with your board members, and then you have the majority, minority, etc. Sure. I didn't want to turn it to that, so where they were controlling the county manager. Mm-hmm. Okay, if the county manager, because you have 1,500 people working for you, you have a lot of say. Okay, so I didn't want that to turn into a political thing. Okay, mm-hmm. And of course. Morelli told me that it would not be that. So have you been facing political stuff on the board?
Listen, it's an 11-member panel. I like to see the Luzerne County Home Rule government, and I break it down as really it's a board of directors CEO relationship. The board of directors, being the county council, set the budget, handle legislative matters, talk about borrowing, and I'm the CEO, I'm the county manager, so I handle the day-to-day operations of Luzerne County. The Luzerne County Council, there's 11 elected officials there. Each of them have opinions. Each of them strongly advocate for their citizens of Luzerne County, and that's a wonderful thing. That's what we want. And I work with them on a daily basis. We had a council meeting last night, and we were out of there by 9 o'clock, which is pretty good.
Well, that is excellent. Well, here again, if you're in there, and first of all, I admire the 11 board members. Because anybody who is running for office today, believe me, they're giving a lot of their time, mm-hmm. and whoever they are, I know some of them, but I admire them because, and the public should also give them a break because these are people that are trying to do their best. That's why they ran, and I have to be. I'm happy about that. So moving on, Dave, you're on here for a year, mm-hmm. okay? And so how are we doing in the county? I know we have 4 areas that I'd like to talk about, and people who are paying their county tax.
Right.
I don't think anyone would get upset, sometimes people think taxes are too high, but mm-hmm. however, if I'm paying my tax, what's my ROI on that? What's my return on investment? Absolutely. Okay, that I'm presenting to the county? Okay, so fiscally, okay, let's talk about financial stability.
Sure.
Where are we at?
So financial stability, and this is one of the major successes of home rule. 2012, we were saddled with a $420 million debt. In borrowings that had been done in the past to balance the county budget, to make sure that payrolls were in there. Some of that money was used to give to other municipalities by the commissioners for improvement projects in those municipalities, but the county taxpayers were carrying the bill. So $420 million in 2012. As we sit here today in 2017, that debt is down to just over $300 million. So we've paid off over $120 million in debt in Luzerne County over just these past couple years.
Okay, what does that mean to the taxpayers?
It means that we're finally getting our financial house in order. We're not going to have to continually go back to the taxpayers to say, hey, listen, we made a mistake, we have to continue to borrow to do something. So a large portion of our budget goes to pay this debt service. We pay $26 million a year, but the taxpayers should know that we look at every single dime in Luzerne County, and we pick up the nickels, and we pick up the pennies, and we pick up the dimes to make sure that we continue to find the next step, to make sure that we don't have to continue to go back to property owners. to ask for more money to run Luzerne County.
Okay, so the people understand, it's like when you belong to a chamber of commerce, there are many things that the chambers do, okay? I just recently had an interview with Bob Carl at Schuylkill County, and he's explaining great things that the chamber is doing. The same thing with our county, our chamber here in Wilkes-Barre, Hazleton. There's many opportunities, okay, that are available that the public doesn't know. So as a county manager, what are the areas that that you're involved with? Okay.
Well, when I took this job a year ago, the biggest thing about it was just the sheer size of Luzerne County government and what we do for the people of Luzerne County. Number one, when you call someone when you're in trouble, it's a 911 operator. That's a Luzerne County employee.
So that's under your
Luzerne County 911. We run a $30 million Luzerne County correctional facility. We keep our people safe. We have public safety. Anything to do with the courts, anything that you're being sued or you're suing somebody or anything to do with the courts in any way, shape, or form is Luzerne County. Tax collection, we pay the tax collectors. We just worked over this last night to be able to do those types of things. Children and youth, mental health, drug and alcohol services. We record deeds, register wills. I mean, like, it is amazing what the Luzerne County does every single day for the
So as the CEO of the county, okay, keeping abreast of what's going on, because then you have to report to the board, okay, like any CEO does. How do you effectively, efficiently understand what's going on or have the knowledge of what's going on in these areas so something doesn't go haywire?
Well, a couple things. First off would be I have some very good people who I'm blessed to work with. And as you told me on this show, you have to surround yourself with good people and make sure that you support them. And I remember that piece of advice, Sam, and I continue to take it. Because if you put people in these positions who do a good job and follow through and you trust, they're gonna succeed. We continually have meetings with our department heads, division heads. I like to say that I manage one level down. I'm not going to talk to the caseworker and say, hey, listen, what happened with this particular case? That's for the department head to do so. But I need to talk to the supervisors, I need to talk to the managers to make sure that they have the vision that Luzerne County should be moving forward with.
Okay, so going on the philosophy that, when I was the chairman of the board of the college, okay, my job was to see that the college was properly run, not to run it, okay? And that's where sometimes you run into problems with school boards, okay, or trustees. Sure. All right, so in your case, you have people, like you said, you can't get involved in every individual case, but you have people that report to you. So they all have their mission statements. Is that correct?
Yep.
Okay.
We have 8 separate division heads, corrections, operations, administration. Each of them have reportees, and each of them have a specific goal that we want to move forward with. Okay,
so when you're looking at budgets and you're cutting budgets, I remember back when I had my piano and organ stores, and Johnny Morado and I would be going over different things. Incidentally, one of the greatest partners in the world is Johnny Morado. I mean, we were together for 28 years. I think we had 2 arguments, which was amazing. But okay, so he had a duty, I had a duty. So in your case, when you're looking at different things, we said, well, we have to cut. Okay, so we said we need to cut 10% across the board. All right. So I wanted to see what would happen if I said we need to cut 10% across the board. If you went into the county, okay, and said, look, in all the divisions, I need to cut 10%, okay, which would be really millions back to the county. Would you be able to do that?
Well, 10% is quite a bit because we are working with such a tight budget. Of the $130 million operating budget that we have, $26 million of it goes just to pay the debt service. 60% of it is salaries. There is very few places that I can just cut across the board. In addition, a lot of our funds come from state and federal funds. So if we start cutting our grants by 10%, maybe the state and federal funds don't come through. Now listen, could we cut here? Could we cut in this place? Absolutely. We just went through our budget and we went line by line and we went through the whole thing. But we're probably running lean and mean right now, Sam.
Now, it's interesting you should say that. And folks, that's why Dave is really doing a fabulous job. Secretary Kissinger, when he was Secretary of State, the story goes that he had a project and he assigned it to a person. This person worked on this project for 3-4 months, brought it into the secretary, says, Mr. Secretary, here's my project. He says, thank you. The next day he called the gentleman in and says, I want you to redo this. The gentleman picked the project up, worked on it for a week or two, brought it back, put it on the desk. Next day he says, come back, I want you to redo this. Picked it up, came back, same thing happens. The third time he says, I want you to redo this. The gentleman said, I'm sorry, Mr. Kissinger. I've done everything I possibly could. There is nothing else I could do. Mr. Kissinger looked at him and says, thank you. Now I will read it.
Exactly.
Well, the point was, the fact that he picked it up wasn't his best work, okay? And so what you're saying is you're down lean and mean, which you've done your homework, okay?
We do
and
the work.
It's so good to hear that, Dave. Okay, I'm talking to Dave Pedri, folks. He's the county manager. 5 years we've been home rule, and he's been there for 1 year, and it looks like things are moving on. But how about services, customer services, what up processing, employee engagement? We'll be back more with Dave after this. Welcome back to the Sam Lesante Show. Folks, remember we were here 23 years. We started in 1994, Samson Productions, and I'm so happy to say that we're celebrating our 23rd anniversary. But it's a big thank you to you for all of the people who've been watching our programming, and especially our advertisers who have been doing pretty well with us, okay? Remember, all of our shows are on ssptv.com. My email is sam@ssptv.com. My guest today is Dave Pedri. He is the Luzerne County manager. Okay, so Dave, we're going on here with, explaining and doing things. We talked about financial stability, okay. Was there a tax raise in the county?
It was a 4% tax raise in 2017. We don't do those things lightly, and the goal is to have 2018 budget come in with no tax raise.
What would that reflect, that 4%? What would that mean to the average household?
If you own a $100,000 house, which is our median, if you have a $100,000 house, that's $2 a month.
Okay, so they're paying $24 a year.
Just about 20.
And so you just told me the services, okay, that they're getting for that. So it's $24 average.
Correct.
Okay.
Yep.
All right. So let's talk about the other part of your pillars, the processing.
Sure. So one thing that the county always, that I've brought to the county is, listen, we got to look at processes, how we do things in Luzerne County. The first day I got in, I said to my employees, and I said to the public, the last thing I want to hear is, well, that's just the way we've always done it. Okay? Because I've worked in Luzerne County, I've been an assistant district attorney since 2004, I know the way it is, and we can't get used to just that's the way we've always done it. So it's 2017. What are we doing to fix that? Are we using technology to our best extent? And we're continually looking to change those things. In 2016, we brought in a new software to bring in our HR department into the 21st century. We now have a fully completed online application that people can go in there and see to apply for jobs in Luzerne County. It used to be fully paper-driven. And one thing that I'm very, very proud of is this implementation of an auto dialer. And what this is for our public defender's office. People miss court dates. Our public defender clients a lot of times miss a court date, they don't know they have it, they lose track of it or something along those lines, and a bench warrant goes out for their arrest. Then they get picked up by the police and they spend 3 or 4 days in our prison. That means that we're paying for them for 4 or 5 days, and then they have a hearing in front of the judge, and they tell the judge, you know what, Judge, I just forgot about it, or I missed it, or I got stuck at work, or something like that. Okay, don't do it again, come back. Now the Luzerne County taxpayer has paid probably over $1,000 for that individual's 4 days.
Wow.
So what we've implemented is an auto dialer, and this is a new thing that we're working on. It's an auto dialer that goes to every single public defender client who has a hearing, and they get a text on their phone. Reminder, you have a hearing tomorrow. We did it once, and we cut bench warrants down by 20%.
Wow.
So we are continuing to work on this thing. There has to be better ways to do things.
That's fabulous.
So we're coming around here, and if we continually do that, we can lower the cost of the prison to the Luzerne County taxpayers, and the prison should have people in there who actually should be in there, who are sentenced by the judge.
That's you were talking before. You're picking every nickel, every dime, every penny, every quid. And here's a point where if you're looking at $20,000, okay, that goes back into that stays in Luzerne County, other than being shelling out. That's great.
So those are just one areas that we're looking at, but we're always looking at what's the better way to do things, and that goes to process.
So your people bring to you suggestions as to how they could better their departments.
Absolutely. Yep. This was brought to me by Stephen Greenwald, public defender. On the listserv with other public defenders across the nation. He said, we got to try this program.
That's fabulous. Let's talk about customer services.
Absolutely.
Now, here's that extra $24 I'm going to be paying to Luzerne County. What am I getting out of it?
Well, customer service is a major issue to me. Listen, we're only here for the taxpayers. This is taxpayers' buildings, taxpayers' money. They pay my salary. They pay the people's salary. This is everything we do is for the customer, and the customer is the Luzerne County citizen. We're doing a bunch of different things. One issue that I'm very proud of is we invested in the Luzerne County Courthouse. Luzerne County Courthouse did not have an upgrade, did not have a coat of paint on it, did not have anything along those lines for 10, 15 years. So we did a couple things. We paved the back parking lot. We painted in areas that we need to do. It's about pride. It's about when we have such a beautiful courthouse, when our citizens need to come to the courthouse, they need to know what a beautiful building that is and enjoy this jewel of a building that our founding fathers put forth for us in the early 1900s. And when our citizens have to come to those places, we have to expand on them. We have to help them. One area that I'm very pleased of is being a Hazleton boy myself. We were able to put gun permits down at Magistrate Dixon's office. For the citizens out there, we collect your license to carry permits at Magistrate Dixon's office in Hazel Township, right by Walmart, and we do that every Monday. We never had that before, but it's about helping those people so they don't have to drive to Wilkes-Barre. They can come right to Magistrate Dixon's and get their license right there.
Okay, speaking of that, and I'm showing this show on our Service Electric Communications, which is Channel 92 in Mountaintop and Wilkes-Barre, in Kingston, so they can hear what you're saying. But looking at the southern part of Luzerne County, what other, because I remember people saying we're going to have this down here, so it would relieve us from traveling back and forth.
There's always what can we do better? And this goes back to, this also ties into processes. Doing things like being able to for attorneys to be able to file their documents online, to be able to scan and email, as opposed to saving that cost back and forth. We're doing much more, as much as we can, paperless, because it's 2017, and let's do things the right way.
All right, so let's go into employee engagement. Now,
Absolutely.
This is interesting. Well, they're all interesting, to be very honest.
Listen, we talked about, and we have over 1,500 employees, about 1,500 employees in Luzerne County. And that number was cut significantly. When I first started the DA's office in 2004, I was told there was 2,400 employees working for Luzerne County at that time. That number has been cut and been cut and been cut. Sometimes I feel like it's been cut too deep because it hurts our customer service. But we work with employees on a daily basis. And I implemented a Luzerne County orientation program for our new hires. And I speak to every one of those classes. And I tell those classes about what we do here. And I tell them, there's a lot of other jobs out there, but you chose to work for the government. You chose to work for the public. And, you're like me then. And that means that what an opportunity you have. Because truly a Luzerne County employee affects change on every single person that they come in contact with every single day. How many people really get a chance to say, in my job, I make a difference, and I did something to help somebody today? Whether you're a children youth caseworker, a 911 call taker, a clerk at our pathonetary's office, a CO at our prison, our employees affect change on Luzerne County every single day. And what an opportunity it is for us. So I continue to work with our employees across the board. And I want to say, Sam, I want to tell the people at home, we're hiring. LuzerneCounty.org. We have over 40 positions open right now in Luzerne County. And if people are looking for jobs, we have good family-sustaining jobs with benefits and pensions. And we are looking for the best and brightest in Luzerne County.
You have 40 jobs available?
Right now.
Okay. So what are the average salaries?
It ranges from the type of position. You're looking at clerks starting about $25,000. Caseworkers are about $35,000. Corrections officers start at $31,000, but with overtime they can make a higher amount. And we have some higher paying jobs. We're looking for lieutenants in the corrections facility. They pay $60,000. You know, those
Plus
jobs,
they get benefits and
benefits, health benefits, pension, and you know, and as I talked about, you work somewhere where you want to work, and you take pride in what you have, and when you go home, you know you did something.
So if anyone out there is interested in getting a job, they go to where?
LuzerneCounty.org on our website, and you can put your application in, and we look forward to seeing it.
So there's an area for you to check.
Yep.
Okay, that's great, because when you look at health benefits today and pension, you know, you're looking at another $10,000-$12,000 a year.
Yep.
So yeah, that's what I would think. I mean, with whatever health
Absolutely.
system we have. Okay. When we come back after our break, Dave, I want to. You're talking about, you know, visibility, about the courthouse. Okay. So my concern would be then, what happens to other major facilities like the airport, you know, that you're a part of, like the Mohegan Sun Arena, okay? Different areas that you would highlight, and then when people are going into these places, what are we doing to let people know what the county is doing, okay? Sure. I may give you a little hint here, okay? Stay with us, folks. Welcome back to the Sam Lesante Show. Remember, 24/7, ssptv.com. You can watch all of our shows. And folks, I mentioned early in the show, for those people who live in Mountaintop, Wilkes-Barre, and Kingston, we're on every Saturday and Sunday evening from 7 to 11 p.m. on Channel 92. And in the Lackawanna area, the Scranton, Lackawanna area, we're on Saturdays and Sunday mornings from 8 to 11 on Channel 190. And of course, here in Hazleton, we're on 2 channels, the HD channel 513, and if you have HD, go to our channel. It's unbelievable, and 13. And in Pottsville, we're on channel 190 on the Comcast, and we're on every day in Pottsville area. My guest today, Dave Pedri, who is the Luzerne County manager. Okay, so Dave, you were talking about your courthouse and how important this is. Some people, it's an impression, it's something, you know, that looks great. Okay, all right. So now, I go to many events. My wife and certainly my son and my daughter-in-law, they go to the Mohegan Sun a lot. Okay, when I walk in that Mohegan Sun, I have no idea what Luzerne County does or they're involved with that. Okay. Sure. This is another showcase, I think, that people would, you know, I don't know if you would have the, you know, this is provided by Luzerne County, you know, I don't know, something, you know, that shows off, you know, what they're doing, because this is a facility which is great. It's really a world-class facility. The manager there, Brian Sipe, who lives in the Hazleton area, does a great job. Really has turned things around. Yes, really, and you know, I'm glad you brought that up. We have a tourism bureau that's paid for by 98% by the hotel tax in Luzerne County. We have a new director there, Janet Hall. And one of the things I brought in Janet, I'm like, Janet, we gotta wave the flag a little bit. Yes. We are doing some phenomenal things out there. And take the arena. Okay, you got people coming from New Jersey for that. You got people coming from Philadelphia to come to see a show there. They need to know, hey, listen, this is a nice place. This is a nice place to live. I can go to this hotel, I can this restaurant right here. Maybe I want to go play golf. Maybe I want to do this. Maybe I want to hit the casino. Like, the people need to know that that's there. Then there's many ways of doing that, okay, and it's a lengthy discussion, and I'd be more than happy to share some of my marketing ideas. You know, I was, excuse me, our airport, okay. Fantastic. Sure. I mean, you know, I've been using that airport all the time now, because instead of driving to Philadelphia or Newark, I know you have to change a plane, etc., but it's well worth it. Right. And here's another opportunity. I know upstairs you share that with Lackawanna County, yes. Correct? Yep. Another opportunity for people to know, what other facilities that stand out in Luzerne County? Well, obviously the airport. We got a Mohegan Sun Arena, our beautiful courthouse in downtown Wilkes-Barre. We have to be assisting with our colleges as well. I like to say, Sam, with our colleges, our Northeastern Pennsylvania kids are going to Northeastern Pennsylvania colleges. I know that your children went to King's. We want to make sure that there's jobs here when they come out. That's the key, you know, and I'm beginning to see some of these things happening. Okay, you just mentioned there's 40 jobs available in the county, and I mean, jobs that people can get started, kick-started, and move forward. In terms of what this year looks like, anything big happening in the county that you're working on, or just maintaining what we have? Well, a bunch of different things. We have some really good initiatives with regard to how we hire people, how we bring people on, how we assist our services to our county, and are we giving enough of our information back to our customers? And are we doing enough things like waving our flag? We're going to be implementing a brand new Luzerne County website.
because our website, it's a little outdated, put in there in 2006, and let's face it, that's what people go to for most information.
Oh, yeah.
And so when somebody wants to come do business in Luzerne County, if somebody wants to go to the Mohegan Sun Arena, we have to have a venue, an opportunity for them to say, hey, you know what? That's where I want to be.
And that's what you're 100% correct. My daughter Janine, who is an expert in social media, okay, and I say that she really is. We've been now taking our clients, okay, and also working with them and expanding not only on local television, but many, many areas. And that has been extremely successful. In fact, I was talking to an attorney yesterday about it. You know, he's coming on advertising with us, but he didn't realize the scope where social media is so important.
Absolutely.
And wave that flag.
Without doubt.
Employee of the month, we used to have, when we were doing my stories, we would bring an employee up who did exceptionally well. I don't know if that, sometimes you may have a division that's worked hard and wave the flag, bring them up and give them some publicity and pat up, say thank you for what you're doing. Okay.
And we're going to do that. And in the back of the Luzerne County Courthouse, we just paved a lot. There's going to be one spot for Employee of the Month.
I think that's great. Dave, don't be no stranger now, because we want to keep you, keep us informed, okay? And like I said, we play this in the Wilkes-Barre, so we cover all of Luzerne County. Give my best to all those people, the great people at the courthouse.
Sam, thank you so much for having me on. It means the world to me to be able to share our message with you. I'm always available whenever you need me.
And please say hi to your family. They're
You're
great people. Okay, Dave Pedri, folks, he's the Luzerne County manager. Looks like we're doing great, huh, folks? We're moving ahead. We're beginning to see the rewards here. We're keeping the politics out. We have good politicians making for good government, and I'm very happy to say that the county board is just, from what I see, great people. They may disagree, but it's a good disagreement. We'll see you next time.